What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys had seen the last video, man, last video was dyno day, and my piston left the chat. So yesterday was my dyno schedule with the homie Jeremy from Red Zone out of Las Vegas, and he flew up here to tune a bunch of friends' cars, and I was one of them. So I came out yesterday morning to crank the van over to get it ready to hook up to the dolly so we can dolly the sedan to the dyno. But unfortunately, the van just didn't want to turn on. So I was like, you know what? I'm on a time crunch. Let's just drive the car. I decided to drive the car because at the end of the day, I'm going to be driving the car a lot anyways. I wanted to know how the car feels as far as suspension goes, how the engine performs. The temperature is my most important thing, to make sure the temperature is going to hold up with the Sirocco tuck radiator and the spall fan. And we just loaded it up and took off to the dyno. The dyno is about 75 miles from me, and the car drove freaking amazing. Like, amazing. The entire car is so quiet, and the only thing that was loud in the car was the engine RPM. So if I turn my head, I can hear the front of the car louder than the back of the car. So that's good. And I also noticed that the temperature was sticking around 180, 183 the entire drive, other than when we had to go up the hill, which kind of creeped to about 190, which is crazy good for a K-Series engine. We get to the shop, a bunch of friends hanging around, cars up on the dyno. My time came up, we went up, we did some baseline pulls and things like that, obviously, if you guys saw the videos. And then we ended up being at 8 PSI, which the car made like 3-something, 310, 3-something. I don't know, 310, I think 308 or 310. And it was good there. But my dumb ass was like, kind of want a little more, you know, I kind of want to put it at like 14-15 PSI. So I bought a boost controller from the homie Geith, which runs the shop, and we install it. We kind of cranked it up little as we went, throwing a little percentage, you know, at the solenoid, and we ended up somewhere about 14 PSI. Jeremy started doing a pull, and he heard like a misfire, and then I was like, okay, let me go listen to it. And I was like, okay, well, this sounds a little weird. And then Jeremy comes out, we were checking it out, and we were just kind of tinkering around the engine bay with the wiring harness and stuff, and the misfire went away. So then we went to go do the pull. Jeremy was just kind of like, you know, checking the map and the AFR and all that, and I was actually recording, and when I heard him back off, I thought, oh, he's gonna make some adjustments. So I stopped the camera, and then he laid back into it, and then I started recording the back half of that pull, which then you guys should have seen in the previous video, that there was only like a 5-second clip, and you can see all the pieces like kind of just scattered underneath the car. That was the only segment that I had of it because the car caught on fire. So we put it out. We found out it had a window. All the oil that was like spread throughout the entire engine bay, all the heat wrap and stuff, that's what stayed on fire that we had to put out. And unfortunately it happened. We're not pointing fingers. I know you guys are so quick to point fucking fingers, like it's stupid, but like there's so much variables to what had happened. It could have been that misfire that happened mid-pull. It could have been the oil light flickering telling me that maybe, you know, it had low oil pressure or something. But a lot of things could have went wrong, and you know what I'm saying, I'm not even mad about it. At the end of the day, it's part of the game, and we're gonna bounce back. This is happening a little sooner than I want it to be, but minor setback for a major comeback. So the car is actually being towed here now by the homie Blanco. I think he just texted me. Yeah, he's actually like 10 minutes out. So shout out to the homie Blanco for picking up the car for me. He's dropping it off in a moment, and we're gonna be pulling the motor out today. And we're going to be planting in the 0-mile built engine by the homie Chris Built right here into the car, because we still have a schedule to be on. S1's going to be out in Florida for the IBOC meet in Lake Elsinore, and I am still one of the booth cars to display some of their new items that's going to be installed into my car, and I'm still trying to make it. So that means I got to get down to work, tear this engine out, put that one in, get back to the dyno, and probably keep it very conservative just so I can drive it down there and back on pump gas. And then when we get back, we'll turn it up on E. So sad to see. Oh man.
There's a lip.
know who built this car? I'll do it again and again. Right there, Scoop. So me and Blanco and his friend was hanging out, just talking for a little bit, and just kind of talking about how Dyno Day went yesterday. But not only we spoke about that, we spoke about the deadline I have for this car and what the entire like game plan is. I still plan to go to SoCal like I mentioned, and Blanco said he's actually down to mod with me, and in case we cut it really close with getting this car ready to, like, say dyno, the full wrap, the all-wheel drive, getting it too close to the time that we have to leave, Blanco said he's down to just tow it there. You know, as long as we get it running, drive it off and on the trailer into the show, he's down to trailer my car down there. So this kind of gives me a little bit of a, like, it's like a stress reliever, so I don't have to like push myself super hard to get this car going. But I'm definitely still gonna put in the work, don't get me wrong. But he's gonna have to check in with a few more things before he can give me a solid answer if he's able to do it or not, because I think he has camping that week, but not the days that we're supposed to be in SoCal. So hopefully we hear some good news back from him. Right now I kind of assessed everything real quick, and there's a lot of like residuals from the fire extinguisher everywhere, so I think I'm gonna have to clean all that stuff first. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just gonna yank this whole entire motor out. I don't want to waste any time, so let's just throw you guys on the laps and let's get to work. Before I got started pulling the engine out of the car, I posted on Instagram right here. I started at 2:33 and I finished pulling the entire engine out of the car at 4:11. So probably like 1.5 hours. I yanked everything out, and then I washed the engine bay, pressure washed all of the fire extinguisher residuals, and I also scrubbed the floor as well too, because I did make a little mess with the coolant and all of the oil that still dripped off the oil pan. The engine bay practically ready for another transplant. I've already pulled the harness and everything out because it is soaked with oil, and I'm gonna redo a lot of things second time around. And I pulled the harness out because I don't know if I want to continue using it. There's gonna be a lot of changes that's gonna happen, and there's a few things in the bay I need to do, like put the riv nut down here for the fuel filter bracket, so we have two to secure it. I'm gonna change all of this out. Probably gonna end up changing my cluster because I lost VSS on the dyno. When we swapped the wastegate, I didn't pull the sleeve back up to cover all of this, which then burned on, I don't know if it was a dump tube or what, but we stopped having VSS, and I'm probably gonna end up switching over to a different cluster, and you know, just do all the stuff that I wanted to do to it that I didn't have all the parts to do when we did it the first time. So engine bay is just gonna sit like this for a little while. It kind of sucks when the engine went the way it did, because that means every freaking component that's connected to the engine is gonna get filled with all of the fluids, pieces of the engines and things like that. Everything that took off the car, man. This charge pipe has a puddle of oil in it, right there. This one has oil in it. The turbo definitely bled oil through because we have oil in the downpipe, oil in the bottom section of the downpipe. My buddy Blanco said there's oil out of the exhaust system. The intake manifold is filled with freaking oil. Check this out. Look at this puddle of oil all over the place. Probably gonna have to pull the injectors off to get those clean for the second time around. Everything has to get cleaned thoroughly before we use it again, or at least most of the parts that we're gonna be using again. Radiator, I don't know if you guys saw, I had to pressure wash it, clean this up as well too. There wasn't oil in the cooling system when I drained it, so I cleaned it out just in case. Other than that, I mean, the engine itself, I don't know if I want to touch it right now. I mean, I definitely need to start taking the parts off of it, like transmission, the clutch, the twin disc clutch and flywheel, all of the water pump housing and stuff. I'm probably gonna do all that tomorrow. I really was just trying to make progress as far as yanking the engine out. We did just that, and tomorrow we'll start tearing this thing apart, get the blown engine on the engine stand so we can start tearing that thing apart, and then start prepping the new one right here to you know, get all the parts reinstalled so we can get that going in the car. I have all my tools and everything cleaned up and put away, and all of this stuff right here just needs a good thorough cleaning. I'm probably going to do that off camera because, you know, that's going to take some time to do so. Grab my flashlight real quick, and I want to show you guys some of the damage I did find after pulling the engine out. So obviously we have this giant hole down here, right? And like I said, it was crazy when this happened. The engine was still running. It was still running on 3 cylinders. You can hear the rod just slapping everything, which I think that's what caused the spark, which then caused the fire. And then when I was working on the axle side, the girdle itself is completely cracked right here. So, oh yeah, look at that. I just saw that right there too. That is donezo. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to tear it apart. I want to see how bad is like the cylinder head, because I didn't see any valves get messed up at all. It looks pretty clean in there. Actually, I haven't even seen this side yet. Not shabby, not shabby. We still haven't found the piston or the wrist pin, so we're in for a surprise. A couple of stuff I mentioned I wanted to change was, from the very beginning, I wanted to run the T7 design alternator relocation kit and not the K20 unit, so I'm probably going to order that. I'm probably also going to get rid of the factory harness and get like a wire unit or something, just so we can have a nice cleaner harness and something that's more newish, because I felt like the misfire might be something along the engine harness and also be too close to like all the hot parts, which probably would have caused some sort of interference. you know, just get a new harness and eliminate that issue so we can reroute it a different way. You guys know how the saying goes, a minor setback for a major comeback. This engine was actually set to be swapped in later this year, but now it looks like we're going to be using it sooner than expected, and I'm actually looking forward to it because, you know what I'm saying, Race Wars is coming up here in June, I believe, and I did pay to race for the event, and I was hoping to do the 11.5 index, but now because we're getting this engine into the car, I might want to shoot to go faster. I'm wasting no time here, guys. We're going to get right to it. I'm going to spend a lot of time to really start prepping everything to get everything back into the car. So I'm going to wrap up this video right here. I hope you guys enjoy a little bit of the carnage, because I know a lot of people likes to see, you know, catastrophic stuff, even though it's kind of unfortunate for me. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and if you guys want to stick around for the rebirth V2 of this car doesn't even have a name. If you guys want to stick around for the new built engine going into the car, man, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.